Good day, everybody. Welcome to one day after Christmas. Happy all the Christmas holiday stuff. Anyways, I just want to go over what's been going on in the world of finance as so the markets were open today and still open. So let's go over some of the trades happening outside of crypto. One news item that came up was the projection of the yen still to drop, and that's just all due to the promised cuts in the Fed rate here in orange, which is the 10-year bond, and that should start to come off. But it doesn't look like that when you look at these charts here. This is 1 hour. Let me pull up a 4 hour, do a 3 month. So you can see here that the yen has dropped down 4%, as long with the dollar 4.57, but the U.S. 10-year bond is up 12%. So that's where everybody's going. Even my system, my last scan pointed towards ETFs that were looking pretty good for short-term interest rates, courtesy of the Treasury. Really comes down to the performance of the markets. My prediction on the markets will be pretty easy. I think we'll start to see some buying activity through January, probably some in time. It'll be a repeat of last year or this year, 2023. I think there will be maybe some kind of catalyst brewing February, March, so we can expect some big declines in the markets in around that time, around February, March. And where you find that is again in these major assets, especially for the U.S. dollar and how the Treasury does as well. Everything's looking good so far, and if things fall, they'll fall hard. But when you look at the Treasury going up, that's a concern because says something about the U.S. markets. When I did my scan on the hot order flow, Europe markets were outperforming the U.S. The U.S. markets still look pretty good. The question is, how long will that be sustainable for? We don't know. Next thing most people want to know about is gold. Here you can see gold is had a low point here, October 23rd, and has been skyrocketing from 1817 to just over 2000. So if the markets were showing concern, why are we seeing U.S. Treasury climbing along with gold as well? So you can see here the turning point here on the Ichimoku was right there, December 4th, where it was fairly negative. So it's starting to climb again. So we may be in for something we don't know, but that's why I do the hot order flow, because it usually predicts things that we don't see, and it's usually fairly accurate. So the other big thing here is the profit factor, which matters as well, of just over one, I believe 1.1, which is pretty good. Um, Oil is looking okay. Let me pull up the WTI instead. So oil went up quite a bit yesterday. I think that was on the news of shipping tankers are now allowed back into the Red Sea. I thought this wouldn't happen, but there we go. Nice 3% move today. Will it drop off? Well, you don't know, but on a 4 hour time frame, it's a big jump there. And then you went from 68 to now $75. So if the economies improve, then we can expect oil to go up. The other thing we can look for there is the price of copper, because they're kind of in line with manufacturing. Um, Let me see here if we can find copper. Yeah, right here we can use this one. So you can see here, copper has been steadily rallying a little bit, 7%. And that could still continue to move up because of manufacturing is picking up. Not so much in China, but you think there's little blitz and blurbs of China activity. But China's still going through its struggle. But I think what will happen with China is they're clearing out a lot of their weak players. They're clearing out their whole financial system, which the U.S. and the West still has to do. Germany's done it. Europe somewhat has done it, but still weak. But I think with the really severe downturn that China's gone through, I think they'll bounce back a lot harder. Like meaning they'll perform much better, a much leaner basis. Meanwhile, the West will still be operating on its decadence as well as its house of cards operation with a heavy debt that they've been taking on this year with the deficit spending of like was it $2 trillion or close to it, pretty insane. So this is why I think gold's starting to move up because of that credibility on U.S. debt. They're not talking about, but everyone in their happy pills on CNBC and Bloomberg are all excited because the markets are bouncing back. So that's all fine. The one good thing is when you have a weak US dollar here, as I've said on the DXY at negative 4.57, all the other ones will benefit. So you see here that euro is now at one profit factor of one, which is pretty good. And it's been kind of on a little tear. In around here, August, buck 24 to a buck 32. If you're consistently trading with leverage, this might be a good trade, not so much. But if yen starts to bounce back, that would be the safer bet, and that could happen. Um, as in 2022, that was a really strong uh, area to be in. Anyways, that's pretty well what's going on for December 26th. Again, happy Christmas, happy New Year, and all that. And we shall talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.